Good morning. 9:15, Wednesday, Fed Up Day, the 18th of September, 2019. It's E for MarketWizards.com and eMiniWizard.com, reminding traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose. All right, let's start with a small look of the overnight range and the proportion to yesterday's range. 5-minute chart. This was the launch yesterday, late day. Remember, I said I'm going to the pool, but I think right now anybody that's played short side paid by 98 to 99 and a half. That is held. That's still our aggressive support. It took off into the end of the day, and then we've had a drift back overnight. And we had suggested make sure that you were paid coming into the big 3,000 area, same support. And this was the range trade coming back to retest. So that idea is still important as current support. And anybody that is played long this morning should be paid. We said coming into this 4.5 for sure, the middle. And then we said by 575 to 6.25 should be paid. So that's basis this chart. Top of the pipe, usually a good place to make sure you get paid. In the big macro look that I posted, here's where we are. And the bottom is the 83.5 low, and the top, we're using that 25.75 high. So we're in the pipe, and this was that 456 idea. So tracing that, we've had the plunge, we've had the bounce, we've had a pullback, we've had a retest and close the 09 gap. We've had a pullback, and now we're halfway back there. That's all we know. And it's good enough because it helps us to judge where risk and reward starts to come in and the types of trades we may be looking for. So in addition to this, we're also going to be looking at, say, some kind of a wedge that's formed. So with this, we can still draw yet another line and try to show ourselves some kind of a channel that's been formed right here, a neckline. That's important too, that not only the retraces, but is there an uptrending line at an angle that seems to be supported? And right now that catches my eye. So when you scroll charts, that's the type of thing that you should be able to spot after you have some practice. That's not the type of thing that comes natural, I would say. But the more you look at charts, the more your eye will find those type of things just in one look. So I put that out there for just for common sense teaching purposes. And whenever your mind sees something like that, just draw the line, and it'll remind you the next time you come back to that chart. In terms of a chart in play, we were using 30. We still are. Note how we're over and under the blue line. If you want a tighter one, we can make it tighter. But I want to look back and see a couple of days, especially later when we get some potential volatility. But if you want to drop it back for now, then drop it back to the 15. And as usual, you'll start to see some things that catch your eye once we go over and under and get back up above. We still are chewing this line. It's still not conclusive, but you have to give credit to the bulls for defending their turf and saying, get out of here. So that's where we are right now. Very lackluster trading. And I'm sure we're waiting for some news later. The video I posted the end of the day yesterday, this was what Kyle and I had talked about. This 92 as support for now. And obviously that 0.88, let's call it '09, a resistance. And once we get above that, then we're into the top box. So we're going to keep our eye on this today as news develops later. Zeke, thank you. Fed did large overnight repo, quarterly expiration Friday. Yes. Options X this week. Yes, James. That's why I said yesterday, data burn, possible data burn. Here's what I was looking at this morning early, noting where our angel was. I suggested that you had to honor this. And for now, I wanted people to be paid by the middle 4.5, and then for sure by this 575 to 6.25, because that's the demon. So usually, not always, but usually there's a reason. I don't just wing it and say, okay, I think that's it. There's a reason why I say do something. My suggestion paid for sure, and that was why, because that's our demon. Note the volume. The volume should be of concern to you, and there's not a lot of participation right now. So I'm thinking, grab a couple points if we can ahead of news, and be happy if we can do that, and then use that for seed capital later. And I had posted this earlier too. You could see where we kind of caught here, and then we started our bounce, paid for sure into the middle, and still fairly choppy area. If we can get to the gap area, which is at the 08, I've got 8.25. If you can get that, be happy. We could take it out, but you know what? I'm just thinking small potatoes. What else can you do in this type of an environment? Okay, this is our weekly look so far. 3 days, plunge, then bounce, and we've been climbing ever since. So for now, this 99.5, currently what I'm thinking of as an aggressive support basis the 3-day range. And you should have these charts on, and as you get familiar with them, learn to set them up. And by scrolling, you will see different things in the different time frames and whatever. So I suggest a day like today, where it'll be probably reasonably quiet ahead of news. That's a good time to be working on your charts and set up a template and create your libraries and whatever. Thank you, Zeke. James, yes, I had posted that yesterday, the CME page for the options, the expiration. They've got the contract, all that information right there. Let's take a quick peek here. Predictive. Banged into the 7 to 9 area up here. We know that this 98 is the flipper. So for now, we're going to move this box up 1. And we're going to put it here. Aggressive support, aggressive resistance. And then later, obviously, anything goes. And here's our 5-minute RTH chart. One thing I like to do is take a quick peek and see where is our range. Easiest way I know to do that is just take the overnight range and then just plot it. So as I posted in the room, I said, we're really re-auctioning yesterday afternoon's range. And you can see this was our breakout right here. And that's where we're going to be opening. So we're going to keep an eye on the green and the red and the blue and the pink line. Got to get back underneath all of these, or else it can be another little squeeze. And I'm still thinking fairly choppy today until news, 2 o'clock. Yeah, best to be done by lunch than wait for Fed. Who's ready for lunch? Anybody? I am. All right, let's go get them. And this morning, the idea is grab a few points and use that as seed capital for this afternoon, where hopefully we'll get some bigger opportunities. As usual, be disciplined.